Hello, everyone. All right, and starting the broadcast in all of the places. So, hello to you. If you're new to me, you might not know who I am. So, let me introduce myself as I start up all the things. My name is Sherry Capella, and I'm a Christian life coach for weight loss. And I am, let's see, why can't I go? Bear with me, guys. Technical difficulties. Hello, Lisa and Jessica. I think it's Jessica, right? No, it's not. But it's my camera's sideways, so I can't even say your name, but I appreciate you being here. All right, bear with me because my podcast app all of a sudden decided to not play friendly. And okay, so I'm going to type something in. What is the name of this broadcast? This broadcast is going to be power. If you're watching live, don't leave while I have this technical difficulty. I'm just an army of one, and there is no tech team, so I have to type something into Facebook. Okay, let me type it again. All right, so bear with me. Grab a cup of coffee while I'm doing this. What to practice to develop, if I can spell, self-control even in weight loss. Because girl, if you are anything like me, this is something I could not do. Like I had no self-control, and what I'm going to share with you today very well could change your life in the exact same way that it changed my life, because I'm sitting here at 48 in the smallest pants I've ever worn, and I want the secrets that I have for you. Jim Minnick, stop it. You are not live on here. Hello, Jim Minnick. All right, so we're almost live on YouTube, all the social platforms, so we're going to dive in. So hello, if you're new to me, you might not know, my name is Sherry Capella, and I'm a Christian life coach for weight loss. And I specialize in helping women, perimenopausal and menopausal, to lose the weight. Because y'all, the struggle is real, right? A lot of people don't talk about this. And so for years, I've been coming live and sharing with you all of these scriptural truths on how you can actually get out of your own way and be free from your own house of bondage that might be your fat pants as well. I know that I was stuck there for a long time, but I'm blabbing away, so I want to just dive in and start sharing with you what I want to share today. So as you know, I go live and I'm recording my podcast. My podcast is called Even in Weight Loss with Sherry Capella. And I like to go live on all the social platforms and let you be like a fly on the wall as I record the episodes. Today's episode is going to be power. And my hope is that it actually frees you from a house of bondage that you might be in with food and laziness and pride and all the things that we experience on our weight loss journey. So what we're going to be talking about today is I'm going to be sharing with you how to practice and then actually develop self-control. This is what I practice. This is actually how I practice, and how I practice being led in the spirit versus being mastered by my flesh. This is what I do and what I've done and what I teach personally and even professionally to help women quit cheating on themselves, even in weight loss. So give me a second while I hit record on the podcast app. And in case you don't know this, if this is your first time catching one of my live broadcasts, you might not know, this has already been written as a blog. I'm reading it as a blog, and I'm sharing it with you now as a podcast. So bear with me while I hit record, and we will be live in... Hey you, and welcome to the podcast. So today we're going to talk about what to practice to develop self-control. This is how and what I practice in order to be led in the spirit versus being perpetually mastered by my flesh. This is what I do personally to actually quit cheating on myself, even in weight loss. This is going to be something that is going to possibly speak to you if you find yourself perpetually doing what you don't want to do, and it's affecting your weight loss journey. So I want to take you back a little while. I want to talk to you about who I used to be when I couldn't lose weight, because very likely you need to get a snapshot of just that in order to find yourself resonating with what I'm going to share with you today. I used to be so sneaky in the ways that I would cheat on myself with all the wrong foods, all the wrong snacks when I couldn't lose weight. Like I'd get curious about why can't I lose weight? Yet there I was perpetually eating all the wrong things, being lazy, doing all of the things. Tell me if this sounds like something that maybe you've done. Because I can't imagine what I'm about to share with you is something that only I've done. Very likely you're going to resonate. This story is going to resonate with you. So I remember a time when I would go to the grocery store and I would buy things, for the kids, buy snacks for the kids, things for them to snack on, knowing full well that I wanted to also eat those things. And you know what? I eventually would. Like, I totally would pig out on it because I had no self-control. I simply wanted what I wanted. I would eat whatever I wanted. It was like I was like some big baby. I was a big baby that did whatever I felt like doing, eating included. And I always wondered why my body had become so unrecognizable to myself. You know what I mean? I remember, I wondered why I couldn't actually lose weight. Or how about this? I have another more sophisticated scenario for you of what I used to do. As I matured on my faith walk, on my journey, and even into my weight loss journey, I would buy potato chips. Compliant chips made with the avocado oil and all the things. They were compliant on my weight loss plan, thinking to myself, oh, I'm going to totally control myself with these compliant chips. That never happened. That never happened. I would always ruin my progress on weight loss with a familiar justification that eventually just would lead me to overeating those compliant chips. I always had an excuse, excuse me, to just reason eating at least 3/4 of the bag in one sitting. Like, does that even resonate with you? Does anybody relate to this? It was so bad before God completely changed me. And he showed me that his divine nature could and should be applied to me, even in weight loss. He showed me through his word that being a Christian counted wherever I was acting in accordance to my old sin nature, you will, my fleshly lust and my desires, versus knowing and acting like I'd been truly born again and renewed with a spirit of self-control, and where I could actually harness God's divine spirit within me. I mean, God actually showed me that if I wanted more fruit in my life, even in weight loss, that I would need to stop cheating on myself and lying to myself, because it all really mattered. It was all keeping me stuck in my fat pants. It was all keeping me in a house of bondage. And even in my case, it kept me depressed and defeated and overwhelmed and frustrated and isolating and all of the things. It all mattered. He even taught me that my cheats and lies were spoiling the Christian fruit in my life, because my weight loss kept me stuck from truly stepping into the fullness of what God had planned for me. And, I didn't know that then. Like, God had to actually reveal it to me because I was a little bit slow in that area. So now, in the Seeker's Method, I teach this, okay? I teach something called the power of when. I know it sounds really crazy, but it's really something I teach, and there's power in it. It's what I call the power of when, and it's a Christian life coaching for weight loss principle that applies to this weight loss area of your life, and it helps you to stop cheating on yourself. Even better, to see a cheat when it's actually about to happen, and then to be empowered in your spirit to overcome the temptation and the lies that you start to justify and reason in your head, the little lies that lead you to the cheats, that lead you to never actually losing the weight. These little cheats are the very thing that are quite possibly keeping you stuck, keeping you limited, and thinking that you can never do this. Because it's in these when moments, it's in these moments of when, if you will, where you experience your reasoning, your excuses, your justification, and that's when you cheat. Would you agree? I mean, I know if you're watching this live, put yes, this totally happens to you, so I don't sound like or feel like the only weird person who, this is happening to. So here's the lesson for you. When you notice yourself being sneaky, when you notice the lies or the evil plots being formed in your mind, that is when you stop it, okay? I'm going to give you a scripture here. This is how you do what 2 Timothy 2:22 actually says to do. This is how you flee from your youthful lusts, okay? You flee from them. There's nothing cowardly about fleeing from your youthful lust. And quite honestly, here's what I want to say. you need to know that your old sin nature is your youthful area where you developed these bad habits. But now in your mature, how do I want to say this? In your mature, new divine nature, this is where those old sinful, youthful lusts don't have a place anymore. Nobody's just ever shown you how to bring God's word alive in this way. So this is how you do what 2 Timothy 2:22 tells you to do. This is how you flee from your youthful lusts. You stop it in all forms at the onset. And I'm about to give you guys some serious tips, so hang tight. So this is going to be powerful. You stop it at all forms from the onset when it's just a sneaky little excuse, reasoning, justifiable thought. The power of when keeps you from inviting the temptation into your head. It keeps you from bringing it into your house. It's how you metaphorically slam the door on temptation's hideous face. When you notice the temptation entering your thinking and getting into your thoughts, that is when you stop it. You abort the evil mission altogether at the onset. So that's how I use, and even how I teach inside of the Seeker's Method, the power of when to stop a woman when she starts entering into her old habits that are keeping her perpetually stuck in her fat pants. That's how I actually use it too. So just to kind of recapitulate that, that's how I walk it out. Like when I'm standing at Whole Foods or when I'm standing at Walmart and I'm, about to buy the snack for the kids that I know I'm going to eat. When I have the thought and when I reason it and when I think, oh, it's just for the kids, that's when I don't trust the lie. I actually put it back on the shelf and I flee from my youthful lust. Or when I grab the compliant, organic, healthy potato chips from the healthy aisle at Whole Foods, when I grab it and I notice the lying thoughts that I'll have self-control and I won't eat the entire bag or 3/4 of the bag in one sitting, when I notice that, that's when I put the chips back. I never even allow them in the cart. That is how you step into 2 Timothy 2:22. So the workshop inside of the Seeker's Method, the power of when, is it's more profoundly powerful than what I'm really kind of sharing with you in today's podcast, because that one, I take you through scriptural truths. I show you the reality of how God's word shows us this, and how he showed me it with King David and then the affair that he had with Bathsheba. Let me tell you quickly the way that I'm using it now, because this could be something for somebody. Yesterday in one of my group coaching calls, we were talking about this. So if any of the women, I don't want to call you out because if any of the women from the Thinner Circle are on this today, this will resonate with last night's group coaching call. So I'm going to tell you about how I'm using the power of when now in my life to help me from temptation in other areas. Because our temptation isn't always just in food, right? It could be in laziness. It could be in habits. It could be in justifying old activities, whatever it is. Now the power of when. How I actually use it is I pair it with something. I couple it with a Christian timer. Girl, I know you're like, what? Where do I get a Christian timer? It's on your cell phone. I couple the power of when with a Christian timer because I have all of these other when moments that I need to apply more self-control, and I need to develop more strength in those areas that actually contribute to my inability to completely step into the true fullness of my life. Moments when I slip into, because I still have them. Y'all, I'm so imperfect. I slip up all the time. Moments when I slip into doing what I know I shouldn't do, just like Paul teaches us and shares with us in Romans 7:15-20. And that's where Paul is saying, I don't understand myself. When I know what I should do, I don't do it. And when I know what I shouldn't do, I do that. We all can relate. Can you relate to that? Like, you have those moments when you do the wrong thing, right? And the results are catastrophic. It doesn't have to be that when I give into temptation, it could be when I don't do the right thing, like going to bed on time, like prepping, or, all the things that are necessary to actually lose weight. And the results are equally as catastrophic as eating a complete bag of chips. You see, now I have this new, it's a full disclosure, I'm totally going to be confessing something here with you. I have a new temptation in my life. It's more than just, the way that I used to be held captive with the wrong foods. I have wrong behaviors right now. And you might have these too. Like, if you do, let me know. I'm not the only person with this crazy problem. And these habits keep us stuck. Recently, though, my bad habit that I'm doing and sharing with you today is unscrolling social media. Y'all, I do it to the point of like losing an hour, losing more than an hour, because I'm like, oh, look at her wedding picture. You know what I mean? So now I give myself, leveraging this Christian timer, I give myself an allotted amount of time, little pockets throughout here and there where, you know, between meetings, I might have a little, you know, I allow myself little pockets throughout the day where I allow myself to scroll social media, but with a twist. When I sit down to scroll Instagram or Facebook or Pinterest or YouTube or Amazon, all the places, I play a worship song on my phone and I allow myself to scroll along, scroll away to my heart's desire while only that song plays. And then this is going to be powerful because I'm about to give you the real little hack here in a second. I allow myself to scroll away to my heart's desire while that song plays. But when it ends, my scroll must end too. This is how, now listen to this. This is how I practice obedience to develop my self-control strength. Because your self-control is a muscle that you need to develop. Self-discipline, self-control, it's a fruit of the Spirit. You already came as a born-again Christian, pre-installed with self-control in you. Like I said, it's a fruit of the Spirit, but you must develop this as a muscle. You must develop it because it's not natural in such physical places, especially after years of bad habits, where you're used to allowing your flesh to master you. Let me tell you how I've been actually using the power of when to actually get a little bit more sleep and stop hitting the snooze button and actually get up when I want to get up because I got goals and I have things to do. So this is what happens. When I go to bed, I usually that's the time where I like to hang out on Facebook and see what all my friends are doing, right? And I like to let myself do that for about 15 minutes. Except the truth is, it ends up being more like an hour, okay? I go to bed around 9:15. After I've tucked in the kids and everybody's done their bubble baths and all the things, I get in bed around 9:15 and I say, okay, I'm going to go to bed at 9:30. Never happens. It's usually about 10:15, 10:30 before I actually turn off the phone, turn off the light, and go to sleep. An hour of scrolling when I should be sleeping actually translates to me not going to sleep on time, which means I'm late when I wake up because I keep hitting snooze, which means I'm more prone to being cranky, which y'all is not good when you're entering perimenopause, okay? For you younger women, I need you to know sleep is critical, not only for weight loss, but also for your mood, which means that I'm less likely to actually have strength against temptation. Like I'm more likely to give in when I'm a little bit sleepy with all the foods the next and subsequent day. And it also means I'm very likely to have compromised the amount of time that I get to spend with God in the morning. And you know what? I don't like that. Like, I have to fill me up first with the word in order for me to truly be able to do what I need to do on a daily basis. So I've been doing the power of when at bedtime. I play a worship song on my phone. I hit play on that song, and then I scroll on all of the social platforms. And when that song ends, so does my scroll. This is how I practice obedience. I practice it with the small things. This is how I practice yielding to my divine nature versus my sin nature. This is how I practice being led in the Spirit versus being mastered in my flesh. This is how I receive God's provision of grace, even in weight loss. I encourage you, give it a try. Let this be the way that you develop your self-control muscle. Use the power of when to notice when temptation is knocking at the door and then slam it shut. Use the power of when to develop your self-control through obeying your own self-imposed rules. These self-imposed rules, they're real. Like, these rules can change your life. You can become disciplined through practicing it. So why does this matter in weight loss, Sherry? Why are you rambling on about, what you're doing at bedtime? Hold on, guys. And all of these things. How does this actually affect me? Sorry, Instagram. How does this actually affect me with weight loss, because I know that's all you care about, right? That's all I want to give you. Why does this matter in weight loss? Well, in the case of sleep, it matters because your sleep affects your hormones, which can slow and stop your weight loss. Sleep also impacts your mood, your mental clarity, and even your ability to be strong against temptation and all of the wrong foods. This matters with stopping also bad habits, because bad habits are going to limit you and keeping you from doing the hard things on your weight loss journey. But we don't do anything to stop it, right? We just think, oh, I'm really weak in this area. Like, oh, I'm not good at that. We just reason it. We just justify it. Sometimes just mindlessly scrolling social media can keep you from doing what you should be doing, like maybe meal prepping, or for those of you in my group coaching program, maybe from doing your morning B&B. I'm not going to say any names, or maybe from doing your morning journaling in the Seeker's Method. And I firmly believe that whatever we practice, we get good at. So if you are perpetually practicing leaning into cheating on, or leaning into cheating on yourself, or wasting time on social media, you're getting really good at cheating on yourself and wasting your life. I mean, would you agree? Right? Like, whatever we practice, we get good at. So your flesh wants what it wants, and your habits are well formed from years of practicing. Start practicing new things that when you actually practice them, they actually matter, and they're going to change and improve your life. Things that will help you to have the right kind of fruit in your life. Things like weight loss. All right, so if you want to be transformed, I encourage you, stay, because I'm going to give you four of them. You might need something to write with. 4 Christian life coaching for weight loss questions that could change your life. These 4 questions are going to give you a sample of what it's like to be coached by a Christian life coach for weight loss, what I teach in the Seeker's Method, why I now have a workbook available on my website that anybody can buy that will help you to stop the self-sabotage by helping you to renew your thoughts. It's through asking and answering the right questions. Here are the 4 questions that pertain to today's Power of When. All right, let's talk about it. First one is, and you might want to write this down because, girl, I want you to answer this. I want you to have this freedom. What are my when moments? I want you to think about it. What are your when moments? Like, when, you know what I'm talking about. I just went through it and blabbed on for way too long. So ask yourself that question. What are my when moments? Are they at the grocery store? Is it when I'm scrolling? Is it when I'm reasoning and justifying, blah, blah, blah? Identify those when moments in your life. Second question, what could change if I actually took these thoughts captive when I noticed the wrong lying thoughts happening? So what could actually change in my life if I took those thoughts captive when I actually noticed the wrong lying thoughts starting to happen? Third question, how could practicing self-discipline with a timer, oh, you guys, I just love it. It's changing me. What could actually happen if I started practicing self-discipline with a timer? How could that help me to be better at self-control? Because nobody's just shown you how to do it. You've developed all these bad habits because in your old sin nature, before you were born again, nobody ever told you that your divine nature, being a Christian, pursuing holiness through righteousness, mattered in every area of your life. We thought food was exempt. I'm off track. Okay. Number 4, last question. What could happen if I had the courage to actually try this? What could change in my life? You have so much to gain and so much to lose, even in weight loss. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining today's broadcast. I hope it didn't take too long. Whoops, sorry. Down here, you guys can't hear me. Let me go ahead and start turning off all of the broadcasts and all the other places, YouTube, here we go. I just want to let you know, follow me for more insights. I'm going to help you to understand what it is that I teach women. Oh, thank you so much for that, Lisa. What I teach women, because I'm not a traditional Christian. I'm not a traditional life coach. I'm not a traditional weight loss coach. God has promoted me to being a Christian life coach, and he has me focused in the area where he has freed me the most, and that is in the area of weight loss. If you are somebody struggling in your weight loss and you're like me, you find that you don't necessarily have a weight loss problem, you have an obedience problem, then I encourage you, follow me. Go and subscribe to my podcast. Y'all, I give away so much free content. I give you what I never had. I never had somebody speaking to me the way that I learned and helping me to process things the way that I needed to actually have the tools to apply to my life, even in weight loss. If you're interested, so many of you have sent me messages about my weight loss coaching program. The weight loss coaching program, you can find more information on my website, sherrycapella.com. It's called the Seeker's Method for Weight Loss. It's only open 3 times a year. Why is it only open 3 times a year? Because I lead women through the program. Like God has told me, this is the season. This is where you are right now. Right now, he has me walking every 90 to 100 days with women through their weight loss journey, where I help them to renew their mind, to renew their thinking, so that they can stop conforming to their dieter's mentality and to actually renew their mind and let the Bible renew their mind, not me. I'm just going to teach them everything God showed me on my weight loss journey so that you too can actually get to the point of being free from your prison cell of your fat pants. I mean, I just say it like it is. It was my fat pants that kept me imprisoned. And the reason I was imprisoned was because I couldn't stop my dieter's thoughts. I couldn't stop reasoning and justifying until God took me through it all and taught me, through King David and Bathsheba, when I knew that I was entering into temptation, how to stop it and why it was okay according to 2 Timothy 2:22. Because I needed to see that avoiding temptation is a courageous way to not step into it. So I'm blabbing. You guys, I'm blabbing. Let me turn off this camera over here. Thank you so much for watching live. I go live every Monday, Tuesday, what day is it? And Thursday at 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time. And you can catch my podcast every week, even in weight loss with Sherry Capella. You want more information about the Seeker's Method, go to my website, sherrycapella.com. I will be opening enrollment in December, and we're going to start working on this and walking through the weight loss wilderness together starting in January of 2022. So if you're interested, keep following me, and I'll let you know when enrollment opens. Thank you for joining me today, everyone. Have a good day. All right, let me do all the things, hit all the buttons. All right, bye Instagram. Thanks for joining. I did the wrong thing. Let's see. Can I end it? Let's see. Who's watching? Okay, maybe I can't stop Instagram. Instagram's just going to be live with me all day. Facebook, I'm closing you right now, but can I just say something, Facebook? I'm going to need a filter, okay? 48 years old. Instagram has a filter. Facebook, give me a filter, please. Okay, thank you. Bye. Bye, Christine.